If I want to visit friends or have like a cute weekend, then maybe I'll go to in terms of moving, I don't think so. Hey guys, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, shout out to you for joining us, and if you are returning, shout out to you for coming back. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a Philly Q&A. I moved almost 2 months ago now. I'm super late with this video. I did record it a couple of times and I did not like the audio, so we are here. I did get a lot of questions about my move. Why, when, how, where, what. So I really wanted to make sure that I took all of the questions that I was asked and just put them in a video for you all. So if you are interested in hearing more about my decision to move to Philly, keep on watching. All right guys, so we're gonna jump right in. I pretty much have all of the questions written out here in my notes section of my phone. So I'm gonna have this in hand as I do this video, just because like I said, I have like everything already listed down. There we go. Listed question wise, so that I'm able to just flow through this pretty easily. So to start off, the main question is, why did you move to Philly? So Philly has been on my radar for a few years at this point. I believe I actually started doing initial research in like 2017, I think that was. Really just wanting to move and get out of New York. I am New York born and raised. I am New York to the core. Anytime I had visited Philly, I always enjoyed being here. I like the people. The people were always pretty cool. And essentially what I've learned over time is that Philly is like a baby New York. So there's a lot of commonalities that both places have, that makes sense to me. But also there's a lot of other reasons as to why I moved to Philly. So definitely cost of living, or the actual cost of what it means to be able to afford an apartment here. I do live in a 2-bedroom and I do not have to sell my soul in order to afford it. However, the amount that I'm paying here for a 2-bedroom apartment, loft style apartment at that, would be a room essentially with a roommate in New York. So that's one thing, definitely. The distance, I felt like after last year, it was just really time for me to get up and go. I felt like the pandemic really showed me that I really did not have to be in New York in order to do what it is that I currently do and what I want to do. But also I am far enough away from New York or home that I have the distance that I was looking for. But also I'm still close enough that if I have to get home for something, it's not going to take me, it's not going to be a crazy amount of money to not only get home, but it's not going to take me a long time to do so as well. So if I'm taking like the train or the bus, it'll take me an hour and a half, 2 hours or less in order for me to get home. But like I said, I still get that feeling of being away, which I definitely love. So I'm very happy about my move so far. Differences in rent, more or less about the same. So like I said, rent is definitely less here. What I'm paying for a 2-bedroom, I would essentially have to have a roommate at home, and I would have, it would be a room. So essentially what I would be paying would be for a room and a bunch of shared spaces, which means I would definitely have a roommate. So that's definitely something that really stuck out to me, I will say. At my big age, I'm not interested in having a roommate, and I wasn't interested in having a roommate. A few years ago, I definitely would have toyed with the idea, but now that, you know, I am 30, the way that I function has definitely changed a lot. I value space, silence, and things like that, and I just don't want to have to deal with a roommate in that aspect. Also, I function in my space differently in terms of like cleaning, how I want to have company over, and I really don't want to have to run those things by anyone or set up a cleaning schedule or anything like that. So yeah, definitely less, and I would say definitely more affordable, for me at least. Was the move business related? Do you think opportunities will be more fruitful in Philly? So no, it was not business related. This was just something that I wanted to do for me, for my sanity, for my mental health, my mental situation. Do I think opportunities will be more fruitful? I don't know if I would say more fruitful, but it would definitely be easier for me to create in this space. This space is now my aesthetic. It is what I like. It is what feels good to me. I'm not, you know, having to work around my mom. And the apartment that I was in was my childhood home. And that home, because it belongs to my mom, is all her aesthetic. At one point, yes, the green walls were something that I wanted in my room, but as I got older, I was like, oh, I really got to get out of here. It just does not look aesthetically pleasing, and it did not fit the aesthetic that I was going for. So definitely, like I said, it'll be a lot easier for me to create here because it is a space and an aesthetic that I'm a lot more comfortable with. Process from start to finish. So this one is a little hard to tackle. Like I said, I have been started my research in like 2017, and I legit found an old email that had a bunch of apartment links in it so that I would be able to narrow my search, look at what, you know, what I wanted to pay, or like how close I would be to downtown and little things like that. So it's been a long process per se if you do count the research that I started doing in like 2017. But other than that, I feel like it's been a pretty easy process. I think I narrowed in on this apartment sometime early this year or last year, and I legit just kept it on my radar. Anytime I continue to do research to look at more apartments, this was always one that popped up in my search. So I really just kept this tucked in the back of my mind. And then like I applied for this apartment in April on a Wednesday, and I was notified the following Tuesday that the apartment was mine. So it was a pretty quick and simple process. So maybe one day I'll definitely sit down and make a video about that full process, but also the documents that you will be needing if you are looking to move as well. Did you have fun moving your shoes? Honestly, moving my shoes was probably like the scariest part of my move, mainly because these are my babies. Like, aside from the two that I have Chloe, who is scowling at me right now because she wants snack, and Mason is in here somewhere. But aside from them, like, these are my babies. Not only is it like, you know, my shoes definitely go into my work, but this is a collection. Some I've had over, you know, 6, 7, 10 years at this point, and I know I won't be able to get them back. So it's little things like that that I have to keep in mind. But I also have some really dope, I don't want to say like exclusive shoes, but shoes that were definitely hard to get as well. So moving them was definitely a scary experience, because like I said, I am trusting someone else with my prized possessions, essentially, you know, in a van for a truck or whatever it is for a couple of hours, and to unload them. But the way my sister and I packed the boxes really just made it a little, I guess, like easier to deal with. Like, we would get boxes, we lined the bottom with bubble wrap, then we would do like a layer of shoes, bubble wrap, layer of shoes, then bubble wrap on top again. And some shoes, that's how we move like a majority of them. The ones especially without boxes. But then I also have shoes that I did carry over in boxes, so those I just stuck the boxes in the actual bigger box itself, but also with the same method of like bubble wrap and things like that. So it was not fun, it was very nerve-wracking, but I'm glad that everybody made it here safe and sound. Am I gonna go back to New York to do my nails? The question is yes. This has been, I think, my second set that I have gone back home to do. I have a very tight relationship with my nail tech. That is my girl. She's also my mentor, Candace, as well. I've been going to Candace. This has been one of our more consistent sessions, but I've been going to Candace on and off since like 2014, I think, at this point. And she is legit the best at what she does, so it's very hard for me to leave her. But yes, I still go home to do my nails, I still go home to get waxed, I still go home to do my brows. My hair, I haven't gone back home to do yet, but of course when it is time for me to either refresh my color and or get a haircut, I definitely will be going back home for that as well. So these things are like, it's very hard finding good people, and when you find good people, if you're still able to make those relationships work, you got to do what you got to do. Would you ever move to Atlanta? So I legit just moved here, so I'm not thinking about moving anywhere else just yet. But I will say Atlanta has never been on my list of places to go, so Atlanta probably will not be seeing me for any extended periods of time. If I want to visit friends or have like a cute weekend, then maybe I'll go to Atlanta, but in terms of moving, I don't think so. How long did it take to find your apartment? So like I said, I've essentially been doing research since like 2017, but I think when I found this apartment, I locked in somewhere. If it wasn't the end of last year, it was definitely early this year. Like for me, I really just use, I think, like apartments.com, Zillow, and like any of those kinds of websites. And I really just use like the search features that they have. And I really go into detail about what I want. how much I'm looking to spend, if it's pet friendly, washer and dryer in unit, elevator access, things like that, to really just help make the search easier for myself, but also like how far it's going to be for me to travel, and like little things like that are things that I really just put into the search. But like I said, once I found this apartment, I really like locked in, and anytime I continue to do research about like apartments, or like if any of my wants or needs had changed, then I always made sure to you know, adjust those. But this one always came up in my search. And like I said, like I essentially got what I wanted. Like I love the exposed brick aspect. I love like the open the details and stuff like that are in the ceiling. The really big windows is also something that really stuck out to me as well. So and hardwood floors were essentially a must. So it really didn't take me long, I will say. I feel like I said, the end of last year, early this year, it really didn't take long. And once I locked in, I was locked in. How long do you plan to stay? So I don't have an official like date as to when I'll be leaving or if I'll be leaving. I still feel like I moved here for, I have like my own reasons on why I moved here, aside from like you know, wanting space and like little things like that. It's definitely a change of scenery, which is something that I've been wanting for a while. New York is home. New York will always be home, and New York will always be there. So I know that I can go home at any point. But I don't have like, oh, I'm gonna stay here for a year and then I'll move. Like I feel like until I get what it is that I want to get, ma'am, until I get what it is that I feel like I'm looking to get out of Philly, I'll definitely be here until I find whatever that is. What's the space like compared to your New York space? So like I said, my New York space was my childhood home, so it is all my mom's aesthetic essentially. So it's very different, I will say, in terms of that. This is now my space, and I don't have to worry about like, you know, anyone else's aesthetic. It's all mine, what I like, what I want, how I want things to be laid out. But also I do love, like I said, the exposed brick aspect. But then it's like I also have like white walls. I think my living room is gray, like a light shade of gray and things like that. So that's one thing, and I feel like it just fits more, it fits more with the aesthetic that I like and how I want things to look. Whereas it's like my room was green, and then it's like I would be trying to take a selfie and I'm like, nobody is going to repost this with this green wall. Like nobody is going to post this. So it was little things like that that were really like affecting me. And even when I was doing my reels in like the living room space with against the beige wall, I'm like, yo, I hate this. I don't like how this looks. And I really just had to push through essentially with some of the reels and things like that I did, because I knew that these things had to be done. So, but other than that, it's like the space is definitely different, like I said, because this is now all my aesthetic. So yeah. And like why, how, thought process, motive. So I think I touched on this, but like why I moved to Philly, how I used flat rate moving, definitely got me here quickly. I will say they loaded everything, they unloaded everything with no problems as well. So they were great. I explained why, space, cost. I still have more questions to go through, so I'm quite sure I'll definitely touch on something else. When did you put things in motion to head out? What motivated you to take the leap? So I told myself, I've been wanting to move at this point, but a lot of times fear was really holding me up. I think when I had my strategy call initially in the beginning of the year in January with my agency, I was like, listen, I really want to move this year. I'm giving myself to like the end of summer. I think I told them the end of summer as well. Because initially my main goal, no. It was the end of summer. And then as we started getting closer to summer, like early spring, early mid-spring, I started panicking and I was like, oh my God, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. And that was my first mistake. So then I was like, oh, I really would like to move at the end of summer, but I'm going to give myself to the end of the year. But if I can move by the end of summer, if not before, I'll be very happy with my goal. That's what happened. So for me, I really just needed to get out because, like I said, I felt like my work was starting to suffer. I wasn't in the mood to create content because of like the way things were looking or like aesthetic, but also having to work around my mom. And like, you know, I would want to record a video and she's like, oh, well, I don't want to sit in my room for an hour and be quiet. And I'm like, but you have to. Like, so it's little things like that. Like, my only dealings now are making sure like Chloe and Mason are okay. And it's like, you'll hear them occasionally in videos and stuff like that. Mason, you'll hear him like whine, or like you'll hear his bell tinking around, and Chloe growls or barks or whatever it is occasionally. So that's like the only thing that you have to deal with. But other than that, it's like I don't feel rushed to do any content, because I don't feel like, oh, well, she only wants to sit in a room for an hour, so it's like I only have an hour to do it. So I don't feel rushed, and that's something that I'm very happy about. But it was just essentially time for me to go. Like I said, I'm also 30 now, and it's like I have my own schedule. I want to live a certain way. There's things that I want to do, and I don't want to have to, you know, be worried about, you know, having to not check in, but like, you know, just running by somebody, because like I said, that is my mom's house, and I got to be respectful of that. Congrats on the move. Housewarming dropped the Amazon registry. So I got a lot of messages like this as well, and of course I thank y'all so very much for all of the love that you guys you know, have sent me with the move. I really appreciate it. I don't feel comfortable dropping like the Amazon registry, because I don't want to be asking y'all for stuff, but I will drop my cash tag below, because your girl still got a bunch of stuff to get. So I'll definitely drop the cash tag right here. What's your process of finding new places to pamper yourself, nails, hair, etc.? So I don't have a process. Like I said, I'm still going home to do certain things. So like my nails, I will still be going home to do. My waxing, I will still be going home to do, because I have a very faithful relationship with Candace, my nail tech, and Crystal J, who is my esthetician. I love both of them very much, so I still will be going home to do those things. My haircuts, Erickson handles and gets me together. Sasha is my new colorist at Bumble and Bumble as well. Brows, I still go to Taryn Brows to get my brows done. I think that's pretty much it. Pedicures are something that I can essentially find anywhere to do, and I do have a salon suggestion out here which I need to go try. But pedicures are something that they're never comfortable to me, and I never enjoy pedicures. So I can essentially go anywhere to get one done, but I also have like the supplies needed to do them at home. But like I said, like pedicures, I can go anywhere. I'm also trying to see if I can find someone to do brows out here. I do have 2 suggestions of places to go, so I definitely need to check those out and see how close those are to me. I'm trying to think. Braids, I love my girl Gengi, but I feel like I can definitely find someone out here to do braids as well. Ponytails, I think I found someone to do ponytails, but homegirl does not answer her messages, so I might have to find somebody else. But I definitely think I found someone to do braids, and braids are definitely on my radar to get soon. I'm dying for some straight backs, so I'm gonna figure that out. But like I said, other than that, I really don't have any process to finding new places to go, because it's still fairly easy for me to get home to do you know, handle my business. So I just built like a full schedule around it. I'll go get my nails done, I'll go get waxed, I'll do my brows, I'll go see like my orthodontist, all of that on the same day. And the orthodontist appointment is important anyway, and I have to go home for that anyway, so I might as well just build a full schedule around it. Did you find a new photographer? So no, I did not find a new photographer as of yet. However, I did receive some recommendations, so I'll definitely have to look into those and start reaching out to people. But also, I know that I've had conversations with DP, and I've also had conversations with True Blends as well. And both of them have said, like, listen, if I have to come out there, I will definitely come out there. Blends, I know he'd be ready to go. I spoke to him the other day, and he essentially was like, listen, like, if I have to load up the car, bring everything, say less, like, I'm there. And same with DP, I just will have to let DP know so that he can get a date, like a weekend per se, to come out here. So other than that, I will be shooting some of my own content as well, which is what I started doing last year during the pandemic. And I actually just recently shot one of my own campaigns for Smart Water, so I'm not doing too bad by myself. Did you move by yourself, or did your family go with you? So it's me here, solo dolo. It is me. This is my space. This is my apartment with my babies, Chloe and Mason. But yeah, it's just me. My family does live in New York. My mom and my sister are still there. And I also have some really good friends that are out here as well. So I'm not technically alone, but in terms of being in this space, it's all me. How was the apartment house hunting? I feel like it was very easy. Like I said, I use like apartment.com, Zillow, I feel like there's a couple other apartment sites as well. And I really just use the search feature, what I'm looking for, like how much I want to spend, how many bedrooms I want, pet friendly washer dryer, you know, all of those kinds of things. So what I will say is anytime you are doing your searches, really make sure that you are using those filters and search features so that you can really narrow it down to see what it is that you are looking for and what it is that you want. How long did it take you to fully move? So it took me about 2 weeks to pack up my room. And this was packing up my childhood room, and with packing up, that's packing things up, but also throwing things out as well. I went through a lot of product, a lot of makeup, a lot of hair product and stuff like that to get those things out as well. What else? So about 2 weeks to pack up all of the sneakers, all of the beauty products and stuff like that. And then with flat rate, I moved in a day. So they loaded the truck up and they reached the destination, which was here, hours before my mom and I got here. And once they unloaded the truck, that was it. I'm still having to get things in order. Like, I did receive a lot of things off of my registry. Shout out to my friends. There's still like little things that I need to do as well. And like I said, my apartment is coming together. It's a slow process, but it is coming together. And there are some rooms that are a little more put together than others. This sneaker room, recording room is one of those spaces. So everything is coming together. Are the cats coming too? So I have one cat and I have one dog, and yes, Chloe and Mason are here. They are my babies. It's been a very interesting adjustment process for us all, because I know that they are used to certain things. They're used to a very familiar space at my childhood home, and for me to essentially snatch them up and bring them here, and it's just me now. I know they'd be looking at me like, where's the other girl the other chick that be here? Like, where is she? Where is grandma? Like, so I know they'd be a little bugged out about that. And initially, like, they had their moments, like, they were stuck to me like glue. It's like I would get up and go to one room, they're like on my heels. I would come back, they on my heels. I would come in the kitchen, they on my heels. Like, so little things like that. Now they're a little more relaxed, and it's like Chloe will be in her bed for long periods of time. She sleeps the majority of the day. Mason is on and off sleeping. He plays and stuff like that. So little things like that, and everybody is getting adjusted and moving around a lot more by themselves. So it's like, I'm thankful for that. And initially Chloe was like sick, like physically sick. Like, she was eating Mason's food, and once I stopped her from doing that, I found that she don't like Philadelphia water. So now she is drinking bottled water. Both of them are drinking filtered water. Go figure. What are you most excited about when it comes to your move? So I'm most excited about being in my own space. I value a lot of quiet time, a lot of alone time. As much as I love being out with friends, family, and things like that, and you know, I love being outside, I really love being by myself. I'm able to recharge. I'm able to, you know, be left to my own thoughts. I really value like quiet time and alone time. But also, like, I'm really excited to see the space come to life how I want it to come to life. Decorating and things like that. I'm excited to be, I'm sorry, I'm looking out here because I'm getting ideas as I'm like sitting here. But I'm excited to also be able to host friends here, like to host game nights or have friends like come and stay for a weekend. So there's so many different things that I'm excited about and I'm looking forward to. And you know, being in my own space just really allows for me to do that. So I'm very excited. Do you think you'll ever move back to New York? So I'm not 100% sure if I'll move back to New York anytime soon. I've been wanting to move out of New York for years. New York is always going to be home, and New York is always going to be there, and I can always go home at any point. But I feel like at this stage of my life, at this stage of the game, there are things that I want to do that require me to be outside of New York. And I've also learned that it's not necessary for me to be in New York in order to work or handle business the way that I would like to. So I don't see myself running back home to New York anytime soon. I can always travel home very easily. It doesn't take me long to get there. But I don't see me moving back to New York anytime soon. I'm not going to say never. I will say anytime soon though. And that's all I have for y'all. But I really hope that you all enjoyed this Philly Q&A video. If you have any additional questions about my move, please drop them below. I'm hoping that I've answered everything, but of course, if y'all think of something, let me know and maybe I can do a follow-up video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.